Hey, what's going on guys, and welcome to the video. Now today's vehicle is a 2013 Hyundai Elantra that looks like it just took a mud bath, so let's have a look around. Alright, so this car has clearly been a victim of the wet and mucky roads we've had over the past few weeks, as there is a solid layer of dirt from front to back. The rocker panels are a nice shade of dark brown, and believe it or not, but there's some nice silver wheels hiding under all that dirt. But moving inside now, and a good amount of that dirt has been tracked inside the car too, so the floor mats are really dirty. There's a few stains on the seats to deal with and a whole ton of cracker and chip crumbs in the back. But just before we jump into things here, take a second and make sure you're subscribed to the channel. I post a new video like this every week, so if you've got the bell on, you'll never miss out on one. Alright, well I am definitely looking forward to pressure washing this car and getting all that dirt off, getting it looking new again. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. Okay, so starting on the pre-wash rinse here, and for those of you who might be wondering, as I've seen a ton of comments about it recently, the pressure washer I'm using here to cut through all this dirt is a 110 volt Bertolini electric pressure washer, pushing 1900 psi at 2 gallons per minute. And then I also use a white 40-degree tip on the wand. And while this definitely isn't a cheap unit, I absolutely love it as it's really high quality. The biggest tip I can give to anyone looking to buy a pressure washer is to look at the PSI and the GPM, or the gallons per minute, of the unit. It's not always just about the PSI, but looking at them both will tell you what the cleaning power is of the unit. And as a rule of thumb, you don't want to get any closer to the paint than you could your own skin. So if you're using a wide angle tip like I do, you can absolutely safely use higher PSI machines on vehicles with no issue. Moving to the wheel wells, and despite this car having plastic liners, the amount of dirt that came out of them was honestly pretty shocking, but definitely satisfying getting to see the river of mud just wash away. And for any of you out there who might be wondering how a car gets so dirty, well, it honestly doesn't take much when the roads are wet from melted snow like they have been over the last couple of weeks. But now that it's cold again, the owner shouldn't have any trouble keeping the car clean for quite a while. Moving to the underside now, and once again there was a shocking amount of dirt hiding under there as it all started to pool in front of me. So seeing that, and I'll definitely take my time and be extra thorough to make sure that I get it nice and clean and get all the road salt sprayed off. And if you're curious as to where you can get one of these undercarriage sprayers, the link is down in the description for you. And this is definitely a tool I would recommend, as they come with a standard 1/4 inch quick connect coupler that can hook up to most pressure washers. Now, getting the car covered in some nice thick foam, I'll go around with my Detail Geek boar's hair detail brush to get down into all the crevices around the exterior. And if you've been thinking about picking up some of the highest quality detail brushes on the market, you can find them at detailgeekautocare.com, where worldwide shipping is available. And trust me guys, you won't be disappointed. Now with the car rinsed, I can see quite a bit of iron contamination on this paint, which are basically little tiny rust spots. So I'm going ahead and using my iron decon spray, which will safely dissolve those iron particles, turning purple when it does, and then I'll simply just spray it off after letting it sit for a few minutes. But looking around the car, and there was iron contamination on every single panel, and if anyone is curious, yes, you can use regular detailing clay to achieve the same results and remove this contamination. The only issue is that it's going to take you a lot longer to remove those particles by hand. So if any of you out there have ever noticed tiny little rust spots on your paint, that is iron contamination, and it can be easily dissolved and rinsed away with a product like this. So one thing that's a mystery with every detail I do is whether Mike is going to get his butt off the couch and come and help me. And I guess apparently he decided today was the day he would grace us with his presence. But he wanted me to tell you guys that the reason he didn't help out with the Hunter's truck last week wasn't because he's squeamish around blood, but rather because he couldn't find his flip-flops. Yeah, I know. I tried telling him, dude, it's the middle of winter, you shouldn't be wearing flip-flops anyways, but he wasn't hearing any of it. Moving to the driver's floor mat now, and I wanted to let you know quick that next week's video is going to be a bit of a special one, and one that I've actually been planning for all year, so make sure you tune into it, as I'm sure you guys are going to love it. Alright, moving inside now, and after disconnecting the battery to ensure I don't have any issues with the airbags, I'll quickly get the seats removed, and we'll then start on removing all the garbage and personal items from the car. And it is always interesting seeing what I find in people's vehicles. So getting the trunk cleaned out, and it looks like this owner is very well prepared for all seasons, as she's got a snow shovel in case she gets stuck, and a beach mat too. Now, besides all the interesting items in the trunk, there was also a ton of loose change in the center console, probably the most I've ever found in a vehicle before. So just for something random and fun, the first person who correctly guesses how much change there was is going to win a $25 Detail Geek AutoCare gift card. Now, for those of you who enjoy the vacuuming portion of these videos, I wanted to let you know that I recently posted volume 3 of my vacuuming compilation series over on the second channel, and this one includes some of the natural sounds of the vacuum and some real-time footage too, as I know that some of you really enjoy that sort of thing. Okay, with the vacuuming done, I'll move to extracting always starting with the seats first. And for the few of you out there who may have wondered if I extract the entire seat or not, well, the answer is yes, of course I do. Typically I only film doing the bottom portion of the seat as they're usually the dirtier parts, and although I'd love to show you guys every inch of the vehicle, the videos would be far too long if I did that, so I do have to pick and choose my spots that I'm going to film. Moving to the back seats now, and with seats that aren't super dirty, I'm making sure to only use as much solution as is necessary. And one tip I have for working on seats is that since the seat is just a big chunk of foam wrapped in a very thin layer of fabric, I always make sure to put some pressure on the extractor over the final few passes to compress the foam a little bit so that I can get the seats as dry as possible. Moving down to the carpets now, and I'm sure some of you are wondering what quality of carpet this Elantra has, and to be honest, it's probably on the higher end of the cheap stuff. I wouldn't say it's quite mid-grade carpet, but even at that, it's still good enough that all the dirt is able to be pulled from them, so I know that they're going to look brand new when I'm done. Here's all the filthy water pulled from the Elantra, and it's surprisingly dirtier than I thought it was going to be. Gross. Now, since the interior trim isn't super dirty in this car, I'm going ahead and using all-purpose cleaner instead of the steamer. So after spraying some APC diluted 10:1 on a slightly damp microfiber towel, I'll wipe everything down and also hit the crevices with my boar's hair detail brush, and will then simply wipe everything down with a dry microfiber towel to ensure I get any of the remaining APC residue. Alright, with the trim clean, I'll work on applying 303's aerospace protectant to all the plastics in here, and when this dries, it's going to leave everything looking incredible, and it will last for about 4 to 6 weeks. Alright, so moving back to the paint and using some of my Pinnacle detailing clay, I'm starting on the manual decontamination of the paint, and even though I chemically decontaminated it earlier, I still need to do this step as there may still be some surface bonded contaminants stuck to the paint such as tar, tree sap, bug gut remnants, that sort of thing. So the clay will easily and gently remove those. The whole idea with decontaminating the paint is to get it as clean as possible before using my polisher on it and applying sealant. And as you can see, there was definitely still some crud left on this paint. Alright, with the paint perfectly clean and prepped now, I'll get some sealant applied to it to boost the depth and gloss of the paint and keep it protected for the rest of winter here. All right guys, and a quick 8.5 hours later, and the Elantra is looking clean and crisp, back to looking brand new. Now, if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you hit the thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel so you never miss out on one of these epic transformations. Enjoy the guitar outro, and I'll see you guys in the next one.